What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And this is the Instigators. It sounds like one of those really boring films. Sort of like when I heard the title for The Adjustment Bureau, I was like, oh god, the tax collectors are coming. It's just like, oh no. Like, what what a crazy action movie we're in. We have ahead of us. Um, no, this is currently on Apple Plus. It's got a bunch of people in it actually, but it does have audio description. Um, and I didn't stay to the end. I'm sorry, I did not. I don't know who does the audio description for the Instigators. Um, it doesn't definitively sound like somebody for obviously to me where I was like, oh yeah, it's that. So I'm sorry, I apologize. I usually know that information and I don't. Today, for my blind audience, what I have a purple hat on backwards, baseball cap, black sunglasses. I don't think anybody can see my shirt. But then again, I don't know how high def cameras are anymore, being blind, but it's kind of a faded Ren and Stimpy shirt. It was faded when I bought it. I actually owned this shirt before my blindness. This shirt is fairly pretty old, so it was already sort of like that was its style before, was to look vintage, and I've had it for like 8 years, so I can only imagine. Um, yeah, so uh, Instigators, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, Hong Chow, Michael Stuhlbarg, Ving Rhames, it's just an unbelievably talented cast here. And it's directed by Doug Liman, who earlier this year already gave us a film, Roadhouse. He directed the remake of Roadhouse, and he's already worked with Matt Damon. He's sort of famous for launching the Bourne franchise. That was actually Doug Liman. I know, shocker. But Doug Liman actually did direct The Bourne Identity before they handed it over to Paul Greengrass for the two sequels. Um, I don't remember who directed Jason Bourne. I don't want to put that on him because I didn't like that film, so I'm not putting that evil on anybody. But Supremacy and the second and third films are yeah, absolutely directed by Paul Greengrass and not Doug Liman. Doug Liman just kind of handed over the ropes. He's not he's a really solid director that oddly enough does not get quite the praise because every once in a while he strikes out. But he has some really interesting films on his resume. What I really love is Edge of Tomorrow. And I love the bullshit that film went through. And that's last year when I turned 40 and I did 40 for 40, Edge of Tomorrow was out. It was had audio description. It was one of the films I picked. I love that film. I've seen it. It's one of the films. There are very few films that are sort of like within the last 10 years that I've seen enough times to where I can comfortably say this is a desert island movie and it's headed to be a desert island slash comfort film. Um, because I think I've already seen like Edge of Tomorrow at least like 5 times, 6, 7 times, something maybe like that. Uh, I really think it should have stuck with All You Need Is Kill because that was the original title. I think he got saddled with Edge of Tomorrow, and people were like, I don't know what that is. Just like I don't know what the Instigators is. He ends up getting these weird titles where it's like, I guess that sounds cool, but it tells me nothing about the film. So we're introduced at the top of the film to Matt Damon. He is in therapy. We don't know for what. He's there. He's talking. And the film doesn't actually give you all the information up front. It just kind of shows you people and puts you in a situation. Michael Stuhlbarg, who has gone from being sort of the nerdy guy in A Serious Man to being like a pretty consistent mob boss now. He's just like across the board. When he shows up at movies now, he's just always the bad guy. And I kind of wonder when how many more chances he's ever going to get to not play that. But he's once again, it's like the character from Your Honor. Um, and he's really upset he wants something, and they're waterboarding somebody, I think, at the top of the film, and the guy's like, I can get a crew together, and he's like, your crews are idiots. It's like, no, I got guys, I promise. So he's got to get a crew together of people who are willing to do this job. I guess something's happened and like nobody's willing to work anymore in Boston as a criminal. I don't know what world this is in, but apparently crime has been eliminated. And Michael Stuhlbarg, he's like, damn you for eliminating all the criminals. This feels like the kind of conversation you would have with like Captain America. You're like, I can't believe you finally got rid of all the criminals, you son of a bitch. Now, who am I supposed to get to do my dirty work? It's like, what happens when Batman actually cleans up Gotham? And he's like, well, shit. I have nothing to do. I guess I'll just go be rich now. you know? He just starts rescuing cats out of trees. It's like really overqualified. So, yeah, they end up sort of recruiting this crew, which includes Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. And they go to this place, things go awry. Matt and Casey end up sort of having to partner up, even though they don't know each other going into this, in order to stay alive. And they have sort of this bond and sort of become each other's ride or dies in order to stay alive. And they go through sort of like a series of unfortunate events. Some of it kind of hilarious, some of it not, which eventually will lead Matt Damon back to his therapist / doctor, who he I guess remembers has an actual MD, as an actual medical doctor. And so he kidnaps her because one of them is injured and needs medical attention. So she becomes their hostage. So Hong Chau has a pretty sustained role in this as well. Definitely supporting, but it's a strong supporting role. So this film is really just Damon and Affleck. Daffleck, but not that Daffleck, the other Daffleck. Baby Daffleck. Casey's the younger one, right? So this is Baby Daffleck. Anyway, it's so interesting because like it doesn't matter like which Affleck you swap, they're still Academy Award winners. Like either one of them, it's like Academy Award winner Daffleck, Academy Award winner Daffleck. It doesn't really matter which one I say because Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Ben Affleck, all three of them have won Academy Awards in something. So yeah, and obviously Hong Chau is an Oscar nominee. I do point out Ving Rhames because Ving Rhames to me is like one of those people that's like, dude, I wish he had gotten something. He's one of those people where you just like, there's something that we could have given Ving Rhames in the course of his career. Wasn't there a role out there that he could have gotten an Oscar nomination for? I feel like he's not going to get one now. I feel like now he just kind of shows up in films. He does a lot of Mission Impossible stuff where he's just chilling. I don't think people offer him the kind of roles that are ever going to get him to an Oscar nomination. Michael Stuhlbarg might. I could see that. He could end up playing, the evilest of evil villains at this point. People will be like, dude, you've been doing this for so long, but damn, damn. That's not this villain, but it might be a villain in the future. I enjoyed this. I thought I had fun with this. Is it the greatest film ever made? No, but it kind of reminded me like Roadhouse. It's like I had fun with Roadhouse. It's fairly paced well. It does kind of feel like we're going from a place to a place to a place to a place to do a thing, and a thing. But it's not bad. I think some people have been really down on this film, but in general, I don't know. I kind of see like a lack of enthusiasm. I don't understand the lack of enthusiasm for Damon, but there's been a lack, let's be honest, there's been a lack of Casey Affleck enthusiasm ever since The Thing, which people still don't know what to do with or how to feel about it or what really happened or anything like that, because so they took a swing at canceling Casey Affleck and it just didn't land. So now people are like, are we allowed to like him? Are we allowed to talk about him? What do we do? It's like, I don't know, he's in this film, so I'm going to talk about him. To be honest, he's not one of my favorite actors to begin with. I think he's a solid actor, but he doesn't, Casey Affleck standalone does not draw me to a film. If there were no other actors in there, I would probably end up watching it just because I'm a film critic, but like, if I wasn't a film critic, I'm not just going to be naturally drawn to Casey Affleck movies. I do like Ben more as an actor. So, which is weird because I'm sure people like Ben Affleck as an actor. Yeah, even when he's cheesy, it's entertaining for the most part. I mean, he's got a lot of cheesy performances that are fun. With Casey, it's just like, okay, you're wearing a sheet in Ghost Story because it's like anybody could have been in that performance. You know what I'm saying? Like anyone could have been in that performance. But he was like, no, I want to wear the sheet and emote underneath this cloth. It's basically Rooney Mara's film. If you know what film I'm talking about, you get it. If you know, you know. But The Instigators is fun. It's on Apple Plus, so if you subscribe. It does kind of deal with maybe some trigger warning issues, but they kind of also walk around it. Like, they just kind of dodge it. But they hint at some things, and they're like, this better not be what you're doing. Well, it's not. So, it's no real trigger warning needed unless just the sheer mention of something bothers you. You know, just the sheer suggestion at the possibility has you on edge. But yeah, it's the audio description. I thought it did fine. Again, I think it like I was able to follow the film. I was able to understand the film. There's some cool action sequences that I thought were well done. Do I think I really had like a depth of characters in here? Not really. You know, but there are some sequences where you got like somebody trying to reach for something while somebody else is doing something else, especially during like the heist sequence, which goes horribly awry. It's really important to sort of like bring out what is going on and who is doing what during those sequences so that you understand what goes horribly wrong and who shoots at who and who ends up getting hit and all those sorts of things. So, yeah, I'm going to say I enjoyed The Instigators. I think you will too. Interestingly enough, the other film Doug Liman directed this year I gave a B+ because I enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal's Roadhouse. I thought it was entertaining. I have no problem just saying that about films. You know, it's like I don't think Roadhouse is trying to win an Oscar. I think it just came to entertain, to be fun, to punch some faces, and give us a really interesting Conor McGregor performance. This one, same thing. It's just like, it's got a sort of oddly terrible title, which is a film that's also written by Casey Affleck. It's like, did you choose the title? Anyway, it almost feels like Matt Damon and Casey Affleck have been holding a grudge against Ben Affleck for years because they were not invited to do The Town. And then the two of them got together and they were like, yo, Matt's like, yo, have you ever worked with Doug Liman? I worked with him back in the day. Let's all get together and let's throw the middle finger to Ben and let's make our own town. But then they made like a completely different film that tonally feels nothing like The Town, but has like some semblance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still in Boston. They still take a female hostage. But like, there's so many similarities here that you could break down and actually be like, did you guys just like remake The Town? Is that what you're trying to do? Is just remake The Town? Is Ving Rhames, John Hamm? Like, you're just going through it, you're like, what? I wouldn't be surprised if that was the thing. If Casey's like, well, I was thinking a lot about Ben Affleck's The Town, and I came up with The Instigators, and it's like, yeah, it kind of feels like that's what you were doing. So, The Town is a better movie. It just is. Sorry, you guys didn't get there. It was fun. It totally has a completely different vibe to it, though. So it could be a companion piece. People should watch those back to back. And get your whole Affleck Damon on and watch The Town and the Instigators back to back and just see how many things just sort of line up between the two of them and just be like, wow, that's similar. That's odd. you know, I think it'd be fun to do. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna give the Instigators a B plus. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.